brief introduction to Total Life Changes, a company that provides products and community that you'll feel. The year was 1994, and Jack Fallon had a vision to help the world. So in 1999, with the help of his best friend John Licari, Total Life Changes was born. So how did it get started? With one product that Jack really believed in, NutriBurst, a multi-liquid vitamin packed with all that and a bag of chips. Well, not the chips, but you get the idea. Fast forward to 2003, and Total Life Changes becomes incorporated. We got busy, real busy. We established TLC World Headquarters in Fairhaven, Michigan. Now we offer 38 products, taking thousands of orders daily.
Thank you for calling Total Life Changes.
And shipping to more than 150 countries across the globe. It doesn't matter what lifestyle you have or diet you're on. TLC's products and community is for everyone. And now you know a little, actually a lot, about Total Life Changes.
Man, I don't want to wake up.
Psych! I'm just kidding. Time to get to this grind.
I've been working for 3 weeks straight and I haven't even slept yet.
Let's go, Sunday Hustle. Ready to push, 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 push!
Welcome to the Sunday Hustle. Here we go.
Here we go. Happy Sunday, everyone. Today is November 22nd. It's such an honor and pleasure to be up here. God woke me up this morning and said, today is your day. Get after it, make a change, do whatever you got to do. And I am so ever grateful. And I'm ever grateful that each and every one of you woke up this morning and God said the same thing to you. So get out there and hustle. So I just want to extend a huge extension of gratitude and thankfulness again to all of our viewers that continue to join every single Sunday. My name is Evan Brengman. This is the Sunday Hustle, a show where you're going to hear positivity, high energy, and you're just going to feel great after. Whether you're going to be out there hustling for your work or hustling for your personal life or hustling for whatever you might be out there hustling for, I promise you this show will give you that energy and give you that positivity that you need. This week, I have an incredible guest. He's young. He has a great story, and he's very related to myself and my family on a personal level. So you're going to hear from him. But before we hear from him, we're going to go over last week's winners. We're going to highlight some of our key viewers, our fan of the week, of course. And then after the interview, you're going to hear the feel-good story of the week, and of course, the tip or the challenge of the week. So let's get this show started in right fashion, and let's highlight our winners from last Sunday, and they are 10 winners, and all they simply did was tune into the Sunday Hustle, and they had to drop a comment, and those 10 winners are going to win resolution drops and a long sleeve Sunday Hustle limited edition element shirt, and they are Denisa Caprini, Ethel Keys, Peace Johnson, Cedric Park, my main man Cedric, thanks for tuning in every single week, Cedric, Gwen Watson, Carmela Vanel, Lil Wally Guang, Kedra McGilvery, Alex Casey, and D.D. Wheeler. Congratulations to each and every one of you. And just some positive comments from last week's broadcast. Kira Life Changer McGilvery said, amazing is an understatement. This company has been a blessing to many. Keisha D. McHenry Mitchell. Keisha, I see you on here every single week. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you, Taylor. Keep shining God's light. You are truly a light to the lost. And then Lisa Lewis said, do not stop hustling to help people have a brighter and blessed day. Thank you, ladies, for your positive comments. And again, just a huge extension of gratitude to Taylor for coming up here on the show, telling us his story, and really giving us that message that we have to become educated. We have to learn to accept others, and we also have to learn to accept ourselves before we can begin to accept others. So thank you, Taylor, for last week's message. It truly was an incredible one. Our fan of the week this week is Julisse Campbell. Julisse comes from the island of Jamaica. I feel like I'm always getting these, these island representatives, these warm weather representatives. It makes me want to be in warm weather right now. But Julisse is from Jamaica. She joined Total Life Changes back on August 19th, 2020. And it says here she loves the Sunday Hustle, so I'm going to assume that she loves the Sunday Hustle. And she loves to share positive comments to our viewers and continue to support the show and support everyone that continues to watch. So Julisse, thank you very much for tuning in, and thank you for joining my show.
Thank you
I'm
so
going to
much.
send you a 10-pack of NutriBurst samples absolutely for free. Brand new product to the line. And on top of that, I'm going to give you a Nautica sea moss just for simply tuning in and joining.
You heard about that
I
sea
appreciate
moss?
your viewership, and thank you, for sharing that positivity and sharing the messages around the world. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to bring up my guest this week. His name is Mr. Jack Skritsky. He is to the right of me. He's 21 years old. Says 21 years young, I should say. He used to work here at Total Life Changes actually a few short months ago during our mass hiring spree that we experienced back in April and May. I reached out to a local friend group of mine, actually my cousin, Grant Rowland, and I said, hey, you want a job, or any of your friends want a job? And he brought some of his friends, and Jack seemed to be the one to stick around for a couple months. He was out there in the warehouse, so great to have him. Great worker. He just graduated from college. He's actually pursuing a financial career. But I don't want to tell too much of his story, and that's the reason why I brought him here. So without further ado, it's my honor and it's my pleasure to bring up the man that knew what he wanted to do and said, I'm going to set my mind to it and I'm going to chase my dreams. That is Mr. Jack Skritsky. How are you, sir?
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show, Evan. It's this is great. What you're doing every week. With this show, the Sunday Hustle, as you like to call it. Just bringing positivity and spreading it, and hoping to inspire a few people. That was really what brought me on the show today. Just wanted to kind of give my background, just a little bit about like who I am, where I came from, and just how we can all get up every Sunday and just realize that this life is truly a beautiful gift, and
Yes.
You never want to take it for granted. So I was born in Harrison Township. As Evan mentioned, I just turned 21 years old. Live at home right now currently with a mom, dad, and my little sister Carly. Lived in that house that I've lived in my whole life, and I've been very fortunate to have a loving and caring and supportive family, that brought me up in the household that I currently stay in today. I actually met Evan because him and we graduated from the same high school together, De La Salle.
Yeah.
I graduated in 2017, and Evan was a few years after me.
2019, baby.
2019, that's right. So after De La Salle, I pursued to continue my athletic career in college football, as well as chase a degree in finance from Northwood University. I was fortunate enough to play collegiate football at a Division II level, as well as graduate with my degree in 3 years. Now, I started an internship back in June, in wealth management. That's what I wanted to pursue. I knew when I came out of high school, the past 2 or 3 years that, I wanted to chase this dream of becoming a financial advisor. So, when I graduated college, ultimately, I was able to land a really great gig, interning for 3 months, I guess paying my dues, as you would call it, as an intern, kind of learning the business. And, still to this day, every day is a new learning opportunity. So, I've just been really grateful, to meet my opportunities. And, I've been full-time at my employer, for about a month or two now. We're currently, one of the largest wealth management firms in the country and in the state as well. And, every day we're getting up and we're trying to serve a purpose, and we're trying to help our clients in the best and most efficient way possible. And we really strive to be number one, ultimately in the industry, and by the end of the day, number one in the entire country. So that's kind of a little bit of background on me, and just thanks for having me on the show, Evan.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Hey, easy enough. You're making my job nice and easy. Don't have to trigger any questions. Don't have to probe anything. Boom. Thanks, Jack, for that introduction. And like Jack said, we've known each other for quite some time, and he's really been super adamant about coming on the Sunday Hustle ever since I started the show. So I appreciate your support and your adamantness. I don't even know if that's a word, but I appreciate that. I know you were excited and are excited to get up here and really just share a positive message, high energied, and really just talk about goals and purpose and how you really just got to set forth your life and set forth your future, and kind of ignoring the outsider views and not letting those affect the way that they're going to drive you and steer your life. So
Absolutely.
I got a question for you, sir. You talked about this wealth management firm that you work with, and how you're excited, you're super passionate, and you love what you do. But you highlighted it on you get up every day to with a purpose, to serve, to help the community, to grow the company, to grow your personal knowledge and your personal base. A lot of people struggle with that. So talk to me a little bit about how you set your purpose, or how you really found your purpose, or what you do or what you did to get to the mindset that you are in right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I first kind of discovered my career actually when I was in high school. I was a freshman or a sophomore, and one of my good friends' buddies, he mentioned just one day in class what his dad did for a living. Essentially, that he was interested in the same career path, but he really dove into, his dad's occupation as a financial advisor at the time. And, I first heard of it and I thought, wow, that really sounds like something, I could really pursue and be good at. I was always interested in learning more about markets and, the greater purpose actually to, I guess, why, I chose to do what I do is because, not only are you making your own life better by, providing a steady income for your family and all those things, but you're changing other people's lives. And, it's no surprise that it's in the name, Evan, that the company, it's Total Life Changes, right?
Yeah.
So, my big thing was, I wanted to find something that I think I could be really good at. The social aspect of being a financial advisor. I was always good at math, so it was something that I really thought I could pursue. But I just really think my biggest purpose for choosing to do what I do and learning the business every single day and dealing with these challenges was that, I wanted to step into another family's life and, make their lives better. Say there was, a single mom or something with, a new daughter that was born. You need to make sure that, that daughter that she has, if she does want to go to college or she wants to pursue a higher education, you need to make sure that you start thinking about these types of things. As well as the single mom, maybe she wants to retire in 3 to 5 years. These are all very important aspects that a lot of families and a lot of people don't really think about in the moment when you're getting up every day and you're working so hard. But at the end of the day, it is going to make a difference when they're able to look back on 10, 15, 20 years and say, wow, I'm glad I did what I did, to just set myself up in the right position and set the ones beneath me in a right position as well, their legacy, if you will, to keep advancing that and, continuing that and, making a difference.
I love that. Financial education. 4 or 5 weeks ago, I had John Licari on, Chief Operations Officer here at Total Life Changes, and one of his key topics that he talked about was financial education. And you briefly touched on it when you were just speaking. I think it's something that in the current path of life, it kind of gets missed or kind of gets overlooked. So talk to us a little bit about the importance of understanding finance and becoming educated. Now, we don't have to be as educated or as smart as you and know how to forecast for the rest of our life, but the basics of understanding the value of a dollar, or understanding why a retirement fund is so important, or why starting now rather than 10 years. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. What we actually do at our firm with, every new client we bring on, we give them a book. We make them read a book, and it's called I'm forgetting the name right now, but essentially what it is you're making sure that when we take you on as a client, you're giving this book to every single person in your family, and you are, educating them. We want to make sure that every single person that we take on as a client, the ones beneath them are educated. My boss, he says things all the time. He says something. He says, he's had the opportunity of dealing with old wealth and generational wealth. The old wealth is the wealth that's already, they've already made the mistakes with their money and their finances early in their life, and now they're mature and they're to an age where they know better. And now, like, in the other side of the topic is the generational wealth that he mentions, or these are the ones that are up and coming, the millennials and the kids our age, and the ones that are getting ready to make very crucial financial decisions. And ultimately what we want to do is we want to make sure that that new wealth, if you will, that they don't hit the hammer to the thumb, and they don't make those mistakes that the same older people did in their life and in their bloodline, if you will. So just the biggest thing is just we want to make sure everybody's educated. If you're 6 years old, or if you're a new client and you're 50 years old, it doesn't make a difference. At the end of the day, it's something that's very crucial, and it's very important for everybody to understand. Just to be able to set their family up for their future, and just see the bigger goal.
I think that's important, and I really think as a society we sometimes, well, then the number one teacher in life is failure, right? You got to fail in order to learn something, really. But I think it's a different skill set or a different level of thinking when you're able to capitalize on someone else's mistakes. That sounds very negative and it sounds very condescending, essentially, but that's what you're just talking about, right? Capitalizing on the older generation or the generation before us, their mistakes, so that when we go into that stage of life, we know that the do's and don'ts, right? We're always going to make mistakes. We're always never going to be perfect. And I think that's really important to understand, as speaking to the younger crowd and speaking to the kids in our generation, the millennials and the Gen Z, like become educated, well knowledge, beyond financial mindset, but with personal life and making decisions and purchasing a home and having a family and going to college and pursuing your passion. Like, I think that's so important to really bring to light. Like, you have to become educated, not a master. You don't have to be a master at anything to be successful, but really just being well-rounded and well-knowledged. But so I appreciate you sharing that. It's it's a very important thing to continue to share and to continue to spread.
Yeah, most definitely.
One thing that you touched on while you were telling your story, you finished college in 3 years. I've known you more on a personal level. You've kind of been a little bit more outgoing, kind of done your own thing as well. A lot of your friends went off to this certain school, but you decided to go to this school for, either collegiate sports or, in passion to get a degree or to complete college quicker so you could start your career faster. And a lot of, Gen Zs, millennials, a lot of anyone going through their teens, their mid-20s or their young 20s to their mid-20s, struggle with the fact of, this is where the trend's going, or this is where society's heading, or, I got to do this because all my friends are doing that. And as a person that really kind of went against the grain with 90% of your decisions that you did, talk to us a little bit about that, like why it's important to follow your passion and follow your purpose, and how it really affects you in the long run of life.
Yeah, I think personally, I was really able to luck out, and for anyone who is similar age, or maybe you're in your mid-20s or you're 30, or it doesn't matter what age. I think the biggest, most important takeaway from this conversation we're having is you never want to go out and do something you're not happy about, because at the end of the day, you're going to be stuck doing that job for the next however many years you want to work, and you're just going through the motions. And that was something I never really took interest in. And I learned from, like I said, older, like how Evan mentioned earlier, you learn from the older generation and their failures. I learned from a lot of people, and, just whether that be relatives or, friends or family of friends. I learned from people that, they looked back on the past 30 or 40 years of their life, and, they didn't enjoy what they were doing. And I think my biggest thing was I just came in, and, I said, I was going to come in and I was going to do this, and I was going to do whatever it took. I feel like a lot of people, our age nowadays, they go into something and they give it a try, and if it doesn't work after a few months or a year and a half, they go in and they give up and they want to resort to something else. But I guess just the thing you got to understand is whatever you do in your life, there's going to be adversity at some point in your life. So when that adversity comes and it hits, what are you going to do? Are you going to go into a different direction? Or are you just going to stick it out and say, hey, this is just all part of the process? I guess whatever you choose to do in your life, you're never going to always be happy, because if that was the case, then life would be easy and it would be a breeze and, we would all be, living in some great world. But in reality, you need all these challenges, they're important and they're necessary to your ultimate development, if you would say, in your later life. So I think my biggest thing was just I came in and I set my mind to something, and I just wanted to ride it out, regardless of road bumps and obstacles and what, I wanted to do it. And even I speak for myself now. I'm 21 years old, but every single day there's some kind of challenge you're going to have to deal with, if you really want to be great at what you're doing. So, at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing is just, don't give up when it gets tough. Keep going. This is all part of the process. It's going to make you stronger in the end, and you're going to come out bigger and better. So I guess that's just, where I came from.
I love it. Don't give up. Adversity. Did they teach you that back in football when you were playing back in high school or college? Or?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. There was, there's been times where, I've made terrible mistakes, and we're all human, and I'm here to say that I've done it. I've made those mistakes. I've gotten, I've faced consequences for those mistakes. But at the end of the day, this is all just, it's a learning curve. You're going to make mistakes in your life, but how do you respond when it gets tough?
I love it. How do you respond when it gets tough? He's asking you that. Now ask yourself that. Adversity, when life comes, do you throw in the towel? Do you not continue on with your life, or do you kind of play the victim card or the victim mentality? But it's okay to have a bad day, and it's okay to not feel yourself, but you got to continue to push. You got to continue to spread that smile, continue to hustle. So you say, because you don't realize it now, and you probably won't realize it for quite some time, but there are people that look up to you. There's people that watch you. And if that's how you react to adversity, how do you think those that look up to you, your kids, your coworkers, your colleagues, your nieces, your nephews, how do you think they're going to understand the interpretation of adversity? And I really think that's, an important aspect that you learned in collegiate and high school and pre-high school sports, at least what they teach in the Metro Detroit area. It's like, you got to continue to push. You got to continue to be better. And, when times get tough, push even harder, because I promise you that light's still at the end of the tunnel. It's never turning off. It might seem like it's a mile away because the adversity's putting those clouds there, but you push through it and it's there, and it will always be there. So I think that's an incredible message that you shared, and I really appreciate that. Set your mind to something and accomplish it too. And I think that's what you did with your life, right? You wanted to be a financial advisor. You wanted something great out of life, and you said, you know what? The opinions, the friends, the groups, I'm okay with whatever heat I take or whatever adversity comes my way. I'm going to really push past it, and that's admirable, really admirable, and I appreciate that. And Jack, before we close out this interview, I'm going to give you the platform one more time, and I'm going to just throw it out there, open-ended question, kind of more of like from the heart, whatever's on your mind. Any tips, nuggets, this is what really helps me, or this is what really helps me get through the day, or, this is what really changed my mindset. Talk to us.
Yeah. I think when I started making the decision myself to start engaging in more healthy habits, things like sleep, working out, eating, reading a book, these are all important things that are going to play a role in your life every day. And, I guess you can ultimately, the best part about life is the ball's in your court. So if you want to go and set out and do something, then just, go out and, put your head down and work and go do it. And, as I mentioned, every single day, it's a learning opportunity. There's people that are, there's people that have been doing what they've been doing for 30, 40 years. And still, I think if you just have that mindset that every single day, you're going to learn something new. So, you're going to get, 1% better, every day you get up and you go out and do what you do. It's something really big we talk about at work is marginal improvement. Mm-hmm. If you get up and let's say you're a professional basketball player and you get up and you make 10 free throws. Well, get up the next day and go shoot and make 11 free throws. It's little stuff like that starts compounding and really making a difference. And, at the end of the day, it's always going to be a long, hard going, process. But I think the biggest thing is you need to remember, whatever that purpose is, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're a professional athlete, if you work here at TLC, every single day, just wake up and, just have that purpose in the back of your head. And I think another thing is just, surround yourself with kind of the people that you want to evolve into. That's also very important. Just surrounding yourself with those people with positive energy, setting big goals, not being afraid to fail, just all these little things. They're very important in your personal development, as well as your emotional development. And I think, if you just, you start taking it one day at a time and just start taking little steps, and, ultimately you're going to see that, all that stuff you did to better yourself, it ended up paying dividends, however many years down the road, or, whatever your ultimate goal was when you set out and you achieved that goal. So
I love it. Couldn't have said it better myself. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Jack Skritsky. Thanks, Jack.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that message. And thank you for really challenging all of us. The ball's in our court. The ball's in your court of life. What are you going to do with it? You're going to pass it. You're going to play it. You're going to shoot it. Or you're going to throw it away, put it in and out of bounds. I love that analogy. I thought it was perfect. Don't go anywhere, but get comfortable over there because we got a couple more things to do. But just again, a huge extension of gratitude and thankfulness for you coming on, being a little vulnerable. I know your buddies are probably going to be out there watching this and might give you a little heat, but beyond that, just thanks for having that positive mindset that not a lot of kids in our age group have. Sharing that positive message and. Just continuing to surround yourself with great people and also continuing to be that great person in someone else's life. It means a lot.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Most definitely. Like I mentioned, thanks for having me, Evan. It's felt good to get out and do these types of things. So it's all good.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the feel-good story of the week. And this one is called A Man Buys a Kid a New Bike After Accident. This heartwarming story happened actually in the country of Turkey, and a child was riding an old bike with brakes that didn't work properly. He accidentally crashed into an older man's car, causing a dent. Instead of yelling at him or getting all stressed out and upset, the man actually surprised the boy with a new bike, and the boy's reaction says it all. look at that. An older gentleman purchasing him the bike. The young kid seems to be very emotional about it. But I tell you what, I'm sure he has a grateful and thankful heart. And I tell you what, that takes a lot for that man to not get upset about that dent and not kind of want to, yell at the kid or, express his anger, and rather turning it into a positive statement and turning it into a, what we've been preaching here on the show. Just turn any negative situation into a positive moment. So if you have a feel-good story of the week, reach out to us at the Sunday Hustle at totallifechanges.com. We want to feature it. We want to share your story because we thank you, for just bringing that positive energy and that good news. And we'll air it on the Good News Network, which is right here, this platform right now. That being said, we are going to close out this show. It's been an incredible show. You heard about our winners from last week. We talked a little bit about, some positive comments that we received from 3 amazing ladies that continued to support us. We highlighted the fan of the week, Julisse Campbell from Jamaica. We had Mr. Jack Skritsky on here dropping some amazing nuggets and just some positivity. Just continuing to share that message. But the tip or the challenge of this week, and it ties in perfectly with Jack's message, like previous weeks, face your fears. He said the basketball's in our court, and it's really up to us of how we're going to get out there and use it, right? If we're going to shoot it, if we're going to pass it, if we're going to, get rid of it and kind of walk off the court. So face your fears today. That light is always shining at the end of the tunnel. The adversity might get in the way, those challenges, those negative thoughts, those negative peers that you have, but it's really up to you to make a change. It's really up to you to want to have that difference and want to see that light and want to get through that adversity. So it's in your court, and what are you going to do with it? But the challenge of the week is we want you to be vulnerable. This is how you start, being vulnerable, learning from your mistakes and growing from them. And in the comments right now, we want you to comment what your fear is that you want to overcome, or what your fear is that you just overcame, maybe in the past 6 months, or maybe yesterday. And it could be something as big as public speaking, or something as little as I asked that girl out to the prom, or whatever the case may be. Comment right now into the comments, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. We'll look over those comments, and we are going to select 10 winners. And those 10 winners are going to win the brand new book just launched by our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Jack Fallon, called Believe in More. This book really goes through the course of Jack's life and really just highlights what he's gone through and how and why he created Total Life Changes and the reasoning behind the company and the core values. And it really ties in everything together. And Jack said, you got to focus on yourself, and you really got to start, enriching your literature so that you can have different thoughts, different thinking patterns, or that you can think in a more positive way, or you can act in a different way because you read about it, and you're continuing to surround yourself with that positive light. And this book is it does an incredible job of bringing positivity, and really does an incredible job of sharing a story of of someone that could have been just an average person his entire life, but surrounded himself with the right people and really set a vision and a goal and truly skyrocketed into not only monetary success but personal success, and really his greatest accomplishment of changing people's lives around the world, including myself, including people like Jack, giving us this platform to come on here and share what we have to say and what we have learned. So if it wasn't for you, Jack, I don't know where a lot of us would be. So thank you for that. So I want you to hear Jack's story and Jack's message. So, comment in the comments right now what your fear is, or what you just overcame as your fear. And we are going to give you Jack Fallon's brand new book, Believe in More. If you're not a winner, head over to believeinmore.com to purchase it. It's incredible. I could talk till I'm blue in the face about it. So, get your copy and so that you can read it and talk about it as much as I do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up for this show of the Sunday Hustle. November 22nd. You know, it's a great day. It's cold here in the northwestern part of Michigan, or the northwestern region of the United States. But I tell you what, that's not stopping me. It's not stopping Jack, nor should it stop you. I want each and every one of you to put down the phone, spend some time with your family, get out there, hustle, do your homework, do the work that you've been procrastinating about, because today is your day, and God said, here is to you. That being said, please, please, please don't ever wait for tomorrow. Matter of fact, you should start today. See each and every one of you next week with live call-ins.
Switch.